Okay, so today we are going to do some corrective exercise for the upper extremity, particularly for the shoulder. I've got my client here, and he's going to help me demo the exercises. First exercise we're going to do is an isolated exercise, specifically for the serratus anterior. By strengthening this muscle group, what we can actually do is help reduce scapular winging and develop stability through the scapular region. So what I'm going to ask now to do is lie down on the table. We're going to give him some dumbbells. Have him lying on his back with his knees bent, feet flat on the table, getting him to draw his belly in, right? And to draw his shoulders away from his ears. With the dumbbells, we'll get him to extend his arms up, and then the movement is just going to be a push straight up to the hands for a 2-count hold, and then he's going to move back to his starting position slowly for a count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. So again, it's a push, a hold, and then a return for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay? Come on up on the bench, Doug. So again, we do want to make sure that he's very stable, knees bent, feet flat on the bench, belly drawn in. We'll give him the weights. Right? Then to bring them over his shoulders so his arms are parallel. Once again, from his shoulder blades out to his hands, we'll get him to push. Right? Have him hold for 2 seconds, and then have him slowly return eccentrically to the starting position for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and get him to do it again. Push up, hold for 1, 2, and back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep going, Doug. So we can do this exercise between 3 to 5 days a week, 1 to 2 sets of between 10 and 15 repetitions. And just one more time. Again, holding for 2 counts to isolate the muscle and allowing the shoulders to come straight back down into my hands. Terrific. Great job. Thank you. So the next exercise we have is a positional isometric exercise. Right? What we're going to have Doug do this time is lay flat on the table, right, as comfortably as he can, with his head turned, his arms up to the side. Once he's in that position, we're going to have him extend his arm out towards a Y shape, thumb up to the ceiling, about 45 degrees out. Right. So come on down for that. Yeah, so we want him to be as comfortable as he can be, right? And our focus here is going to be on the lower trapezius region. So we'll get Doug to extend his arm up towards 45 degrees. We're going to have his thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. So what we're going to do is something called an isometric hold, which means that we're going to apply pressure and resistance, but without any movement. He's going to do 4 sets. He's going to hold each repetition for a count of 4, with a 2-second rest in between, and we're going to increase the intensity as we go. So again, as he brings his arm up towards 45 degrees, we're going to apply just a little bit of stability in just through the lower trapezius region. And what I'm going to do is ask him to apply pressure up in towards my hand at about 25% of his maximum voluntary contraction. So go ahead and do that, Doug. Press up into my hand, push, 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 push. For a count of 4 seconds, and then relax. And the second time, we're going to have him push with 50% of his maximum voluntary contraction. So go ahead and do that, Doug. Push up, push, push, about 50%. Beautiful. And release. Wait about 2 seconds. The third repetition will be at about 75%. So again, thumb up, push into my hand, push, 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 push. And release. And the final repetition will be at 100% or his full maximum voluntary contraction. Push up in my hand, push, 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 push. And release. Great job, great job. So again, this is an exercise that we can do as needed, up to every day. Again, working with 1, maybe up to 2 sets of 4 repetitions in ascending intensity from 25% to 50% to 75% to 100%. And again, that can help us strengthen the rotator cuff area of that shoulder. All right, so for our next 2 exercises, we are going to do some integrated training. So now what we're going to do is do a couple of exercises where Doug is going to integrate all the muscles of his body, including the shoulder, right, to create a neurological pattern and more functional type training. So the first exercise we're going to do is actually use the tubing. And we're going to combine movements for the lower body and the upper body. So the first exercise we're going to ask Doug to do is a single leg lunge combined with a posterior fly. So we'll have him take his the tubing, fold it in half. I'll get him to place it underneath his foot and taking a look so that the loop is in between his feet. Now we can adjust the tension as we need to, right? As we create more loop between our feet, the tighter this resistance becomes. So we can adjust the tension and the intensity by adjusting the length of the tube. Right? From there, we're just going to take 1 tube in each hand, place them towards our hips. Have Doug tap one leg back behind him. We want to keep the hips and shoulders very square. Right? And we're going to begin the movement by getting him comfortable with a single leg squat. So again, he can remain with his toe down if he prefers, especially if balance is a challenge today. Or he can elevate his leg, activate through the glutes, and come down and out. Again, we want to have an open chest, activation through the back of the body. Once he's comfortable with that movement, we're going to add in the posterior fly. So as he lunges down, I'm going to ask him to bring his arms directly out to the side, just to shoulder height, and then return to the starting position. Now we're doing this movement slow and controlled, making sure his hips and shoulders stay square. His eyes look down probably about 4 to 5 feet in front of him, and he has that long extension out through the back leg as he bends his knees, extending the arms out to the side. Right? Head duck. Give that a go. So normally we would have Doug with shoe apparel on. He forgot his shoes today, so we're gonna move ahead with this exercise anyway. So again, he sees that the loop is in between his feet, so the tubing comes to the outside of the leg. He's going to take a handle in each hand. Perfect. Now from this position, we're going to get him to lean forward just a little bit. Make sure that his knee is tracking over the center of his foot as he comes to that squat. He's going to contract his backside and contract the muscles down the back of his body as well. And again, he does have the option to leave that back toe down if he feels that balance is an issue today. By keeping the back leg elevated, that does bring a little more activation through the glutes. And then once he's comfortable with that movement, right, we can add in the secondary movement of the reverse fly. So again, we want to go slow and controlled, so at least 2 counts in each direction. Again, as you can see, it takes a few moments to adapt to the balance that's required and the integration of the lower body, the core, and into the posterior shoulder. Just have to do it 2 more times. Again, this is an exercise that he can perform 3 to 5 times a week, and we're looking at 1 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Next up. And then just one more exercise to go today, an integrated exercise. We're going to do a single arm jammer. So what we're going to do is use a big power bar. We're going to position it so it's in the corner of the room, so there's as little movement as possible. We're going to ask Doug to take the top part of the bar in hand. As he comes to a squat position, he's going to bring it towards his shoulder. And then we're going to integrate movements, squatting, driving power up through the center of his body, out through the shoulder to his hand. So it's going to look like this. Okay. Doug, give that a try. So again, what we want to do is have Doug set up with his feet, hip distance maybe a little bit wider, right? Again, we really want to remind him to brace his abs. And again, it's about integrated movement from the legs through the core, up through the upper body. So we're going to get him to sit down and back. And then, beautiful, drive through his heels, up to his body, and out to his hand. So again, the bar is positioned just in front of his shoulder. We're working hard here to avoid rotation at this point, right? So we're just driving bottom to top, heels out through the hands. Again, the movement is slow. It's got a lot of control. And again, we're activating all the muscles of the legs, the glutes, the core, the shoulder girdle, and up into the hands. Just a couple more. Terrific job. Thank you. And again, like our tubing exercise, that exercise can be performed usually every second day, so up to 3 to 5 times a week. Slow, controlled tempo with 1 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions.